The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy's Pittsburgh Steelers 3-round mock draft, brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Jeremy Greene. This is Brian Haynes. Brian, the Steelers basically just brought everybody back.
Yeah.
Ben's a year older. How do you feel about the Steelers going into the 2021 NFL Draft?
I feel a little bit worried for them. I felt like Ben's arm basically fell off his body towards the end of the last season. They didn't have any run game to speak of, so adding a running back in this year's draft is 100% a need. I believe they also need an edge rusher to replace Bud Dupree, and I also believe they need some help on the offensive line. I know that Pouncey has retired, and they are looking to upgrade at other positions on the offensive line as well.
I agree with everything you just said. So let's get into their picks.
There we go.
With the 24th pick in the first round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Najee Harris, the running back out of Alabama. I have to say something about him because it's absolutely driving me crazy. The comp on Najee Harris is not Derrick Henry.
No.
Just because they're both very large running backs and they played at Alabama does not mean they play shit alike. Najee Harris is actually a threat as a receiver out of the backfield.
100%.
Derrick Henry has 14 thumbs.
Najee Harris is a big, bruising running back. He had so many carries in Alabama, actually over 550 over the last 2 seasons, so I'm a little concerned about that. But he rarely ever fumbles. He breaks tackles. He does lack the big speed. He lacks speed for big plays. But he's not a guy. He's still going to get you 4 or 5 yards of carry. He gets the hole. He finds holes really well. And he definitely 100% improved his pass catching. I think he caught 70 balls this year out of the backfield.
He's an all-around running back to me. I know a lot of scouting services are down on him. Pro Football Focus is down on him. I'm not. I think this is a 3-down back in the NFL. I think he fits the Pittsburgh Steelers perfectly, and I think he would be a phenomenal pick for them at 24. At 55, I have them taking Jalen Mayfield, the offensive tackle out of Michigan. This is a guy that you're projecting a lot because a lot of the tape on him is kind of hard to watch. But the good is really good. This is a guy that I could ultimately see being a left tackle in the NFL for a long time. He overextends over his toes. His technique is really lacking at times, but he is a bully when everything's right. And this is to me, I've said this a bunch of times, I'll keep saying it. I don't think this is a great offensive line draft. This is a guy that I've thought a lot of people are projecting too hard and have been slotting him in at the back of the first, beginning of the second. That's a bad idea to me. Getting him in Pittsburgh where they can put him at right tackle, whatever the case may be. If they bring back Ali Villanueva, they can be patient with him. That is, to me, how he can be successful in the NFL.
Yeah, he's a big guy, 6'5", 325 pounds. He's pretty athletic for as big as he is. He's got good feet. He's a much better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. He does get to the pressure points pretty fast, which is really good, but he's still a little bit inexperienced. Again, you were saying projected. I think that's going to be somebody that you can wait and see how he does. He can possibly be a good backup starter in the future.
I think he projects as a starter down the line. I just don't want him to have to do too much too quickly. This is a guy that needs time. He's still only 20 years old. And I think he projects to be a quality tackle in the NFL if he's treated appropriately. With the 87th pick in the third round, I have them taking Creed Humphrey, the center out of Oklahoma. This is a guy that I disagree with most of the scouting community on. I've seen him as high as in the 40s, and that's stupid to me. I'm not saying he's not good, because he is. Mm-hmm. He projects as a Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow type center. I think he's going to be consistent. I don't think he will ever be that Pro Bowl level of player, but I think he slots in nicely as a replacement to Pouncey at center in this offense.
Yeah, 3-year starter and a captain. I love those kind of intangibles that you cannot teach. He comes from a wrestling background, which means he's got really good core strength. The only problem, the only knock I have on him is he really has really short arms for as big as he is. So it's going to be tough at the center position to get up and get to those blocks.
My biggest knock on him is go back and watch the tape of him trying to block Quinnen Williams. It looked like me trying to be blocked by the little Buccaneers man in front of me because he got thrown around like a rag doll. And he's had that problem with squatty defensive tackles. I think he'll have that problem against 3-4 teams in the NFL. I actually think he would be better as a guard, but he can play center, and I think he would fit in. In Pittsburgh, they have quality line players. They've always developed players from nowhere, and I think he would get the most out of Steeler coaching of any center in this draft, in my opinion. Live from the Wicked Weed studio, I'm Jeremy Greene. He's Brian Haynes. This has been the Pittsburgh Steelers 3-round mock draft brought to you by Wicked Weed. Be sure to click the little beer icon in the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe to this channel so you'll know every time we go live, including 9 a.m. every weekday morning right here in the Sportsocracy. And you'll see our videos live as they go out, and you'll see every pick of the 2021 NFL Draft live from the Wicked Weed studio as they happen. Analysis. We have podcasters coming in from all over the country. It's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Draft is almost here. As always, this has been brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different.